Greetings, all! Today, we will be examining the relatively uncommon Water-type Pokemon Staryu, the Star Shape Pokémon, and its rare Water Psychic-type evolution Starmie, the Mysterious Pokémon. Gorgeous in form, and admired by many for the symmetrical and dazzling appearance of their forms, the members of the Staryu family are bizarre marine lifeforms that can use both their abnormal abilities and deceptive speed to knock around others and demonstrate a degree of livelihood that otherwise betrays their visual anatomy. Staryu possess 5-armed brown bodies with a yellow coating of body material that loops around at least part of their underside and the front of their forms, where it forms a 6-ridged, dial-like centerpiece. The center of this yellow section contains a red gem, or the core of these creatures, which serves as the central seat of consciousness and life. The evolved form, Starmie, also demonstrate pentagonal symmetry in their form, but they have a double body with 2 purple discs of 5 arms each that connect to each other at a triple ball and socket joint that allows the back section to rotate at high speeds. They still retain a yellow center of extra body material, but it now has 8 ridges to it, and the central core has grown in size and become much more gem-like, with a new octagonal form that makes it stand out like a true carved gemstone. The members of the Staryu family are notably different from most other organisms in that, just like the members of the Beldum family, their bodies possess a distinct lack of soft tissue that would otherwise classify them as living organisms, but are still classified as such as there is some form of organic material that actually works to control their forms and their development. These beasts are undergoing a process called BioMechanization, under which, over time, the soft parts of their body have been slowly replaced with inorganic components that, though organically created, are not living themselves, thus giving them a body that is more of a construct than a living form. The arms and main bodies of these creatures are made from thick deposits of calcium carbonate that operate under a limited number of muscle fibers that allow the limbs to twist and move at tiny joints, and these joints act as end pieces for the growth of imperceptible layers of material that are generated at growth plates located around the 5 sides of the central body. These growth plates and the muscle tissue at these joints comprise most of the organic matter inside of their bodies, and it is responsible for their astounding regenerative abilities, being able to regenerate any damaged limb completely within half a day. At the center of their form lies a special organ that is called their core, and it effectively acts as both their brain and heart, comprised of an organically generated gemstone of varying composition that houses a nerve cluster that controls the muscles and general body, releasing weak electrical impulses that are amplified through the core's crystalline structure. This amplification not only helps to supply the bodies with energy and limits the amount of feeding they have to do, but, more importantly, it allows them to emit energy from their forms in the form of radio waves. The interior of their forms further contain a series of siphons and rigid tubules that are used to absorb water from the tips of their arms and then store it before spraying it out, allowing them to use water-type special attacks fairly easily. The fact that these creatures can grow in perfect geometric shapes even if present in polluted water is a testament to the resilience and hardiness of their form, and while they might not technically possess any real gender to them because of this simplistic organic form, they are nonetheless able to make good use of their natural powers to make something of themselves if confronted, even going so far as to being able to change their appearance via a rare camouflage technique to make them more difficult to directly damage. The capacity of their core to actually light up with energy and the regenerative ability is what allows these creatures to normally possess the Illuminate and Natural Cure abilities as base abilities, but at the same time, those that are patient and are willing to wait for an opponent to attack before calmly retaliating also allows them to have Analytic as a hidden ability. In terms of stats, as far as Starmie are concerned, these creatures are not the best when it comes to stamina and taking hits, and are unable to show a tremendous degree of resilience against attack or deliver much of anything in the way of physical offense, a byproduct of their limited mobility internally, and thus possess below average base HP, attack, and special defense stats for fully evolved water and psychic type Pokemon. However, their physical defenses are a bit better than most psychic types, their special offenses are a bit stronger than most water types, and they are deceptively fast, able to use their twin body form to rotate at high speed in and out of the water, thus granting them an above-average base defense stat for a fully evolved Psychic-type Pokemon, an above-average base special attack stat for a fully evolved Water-type Pokemon, and an above-average base speed stat for a fully evolved Pokemon of both of their types, working to make them a noteworthy contender in any battle they might be a part of. Staryu are deceptively hardy creatures that can make good use of their natural anatomy and regenerative powers, symbolized wonderfully in their recover technique, to heal any damage done to them in a short period of time, and this is in due part thanks to their core, which serves as the central point from which all of their actions arise. Even if they lose all of their arms, as long as the core remains intact, they can regenerate themselves and heal as if they were never hurt in the first place. What makes these creatures interesting though, aside from their acquisition of other bizarre moves like Psywave, Psychic, Power Gem, Confuse Ray, Cosmic Power, and Reflect Type, among others, is the way in which their core behaves at night. These creatures are said by some to have been born from stardust falling into the ocean from the sky, and while this might not be accurate, it does testify to their general behavior. For on clear nights, when the stars shine brightly in the sky, these creatures will rise up from the ocean floor and sometimes either get close to the surface or even beach themselves, only for their cores to start glowing red and flashing on and off like that of a heartbeat in sync with the twinkling of the stars above them. It is unknown exactly what they are trying to do when committing this act, but it is noted that, as they do this, they emit radio waves from their core towards the night sky, almost as if they are trying to communicate with the stars above. This has led some to speculate that Staryu and by default Starmie are actually from an alien world and are trying to communicate with others beyond our sight, but given their physical state and the limited range of their pulses, this seems unlikely. What they are trying to do, that unfortunately is still a mystery. Regardless, Staryu are able to animate themselves quite rapidly compared to other echinoderms and are able to make a great deal of trouble with their speed, so while they might not be able to take much in the way of hits, they can still make good use of their power to make themselves a decent contender in a fight, even if we still understand very little about their mental processes and don't even understand if they are capable of feeling emotional states in this stage of evolution. While Staryu are normally unable to evolve under normal circumstances, if they are exposed to the radiant energy of a water stone, it causes their form to mutate almost instantly, helping to facilitate their evolution into Starmie. In this state, these creatures acquire a back piece that connects to their underside at a triple ball and socket joint, and it allows them to rotate this lower section at high speeds freely, which not only helps to propel them both through the water quite readily, but also makes their rapid spin attack quite nasty. Believed by ancient people to have been transformed into their evolutionary state by the reflection of the stars and the night sky on the surface of the water, these creatures are noted for having a much larger, more exquisite core at their center that is much more effective at channeling electrical energy than that of Staryu. So much so that it amplifies their electromagnetic properties and makes them more effective at harnessing and using psychic energy as a weapon, thus making them partial psychic types and in turn allowing them to at least learn the Confuse Ray technique if they are evolved early on in their lives. Their gorgeous form has earned them the nickname of the Gem of the Sea, and this is helped by the fact that, when not being directly observed, the cores of these creatures will not just flash one color, but 7 different possible colors brightly, being enough so that the flashes are visible even in daylight. These colored pulses are linked to the emission of different wavelengths of radio waves, and while it is not entirely certain what this means, it is widely believed that these different colored flashes might be indications of the development of emotions within these creatures despite their simple biological forms, the flashes being their attempt to communicate with others, living creatures or the stars at night, for unknown reasons. Whether or not these different colors mean the same for all Starmie, or if they are individualized is not known, but this is a unique breakthrough in understanding how their minds work, and they have been hotly studied for decades because of it. What can be said though, sadly, is that these creatures' gems are so highly prized that they have been known to be harvested from them to make jewelry, though such things are often treated in secret, as this is effectively killing the creatures just for their core, something that most people would heavily frown upon. This doesn't mean that they won't go down without a fight though, and being near them can be a hazard in and of itself, as these creatures tend to emit such strong radio waves from their body when their core flashes that they can induce headaches if one is not careful, and their incredible agility can make them a pain to hit and track down if their abnormal psychic powers don't make them a severe threat on their own. Mysterious in their intentions and faster than one might think initially, the members of the Staryu family are clever echinoderms that can prove to be a nuisance to deal with if they can't be hit hard and fast to knock them out quickly. You might have to go out of your way to find a rare water stone to make the most of their power, but as long as you raise them properly before you do so, they can easily be made into powerful fighters that can more than dazzle the opposition and leave them scratching their heads as to what exactly just hit them. Just do yourself a favor and try not to irritate them too much by picking them up and touching the wrong place without their permission. They might not mind having a lot of their body touched, but stray in the wrong direction and become overly rough with their core, and they will gladly spin into your face and spray you with water to get you to back off, if not use their extrasensory powers to fling you far away until you too join the stars they often speak to. Thank you all for watching this video. It is always an honor to be able to speak with you all on the subject of Pokemon in a way that brings me great joy and happiness in my work. If you would like to keep tabs on past and future work, click that subscribe button, check out my work on DeviantArt, and don't be shy about following me on Twitter. where you can find pertinent announcements on upcoming work before it is officially posted. Links to both can be found in the video description. If you would like to support my work and help Miguel and I continue to produce more content for you and improve upon our presentation, please visit us at my Patreon page, which you can also find a link to in the video description.
Yep, no.
With that, I thank you for watching and I wish you well.